The Takata airbag recall is one of the largest in history, affecting over 100 million vehicles. The Takata airbag recall is one of the largest in history, affecting over 100 million vehicles worldwide. In 2014, NHTSA launched an investigation into Takata's airbags after reports of explosions and injuries emerged. Takata's airbags used a propellant called ammonium nitrate, which was prone to igniting too quickly and causing shrapnel. The recall was linked to at least 24 deaths and 100 injuries in the United States alone by 2017. Takata filed for bankruptcy in 2017 and pleaded guilty to 1 count of wire fraud in 2018. As a result, the NHTSA imposed a $1 billion fine on Takata's parent company, with $850 million going to affected vehicle owners. In 1996, a study showed that 71% of people with gluten intolerance didn't actually have it, but believed they did due to suggestion. In 1996, a study revealed that 71% of people with gluten intolerance were misdiagnosed due to suggestion. The nocebo effect, the opposite of placebo, can cause real physical symptoms from a false belief. Suggestion can alter brain chemistry, releasing stress hormones that affect digestion and immunity. A 2018 study found that people who believed they were allergic to certain foods had increased symptoms. The power of suggestion can even influence the effectiveness of medical treatments and surgeries. By understanding the power of suggestion, we can harness its potential to improve our physical health. You're not alone if you remember Nelson Mandela dying in prison, but he actually died in 2013. The Mandela effect refers to a phenomenon where large groups of people remember an event or detail differently. Nelson Mandela, the former South African president, is often cited as the most prominent example of the Mandela effect. Many people claim to vividly remember Mandela dying in prison in the 1980 seconds, but he actually died in 2013. The term Mandela effect was coined by paranormal consultant Fiona Broom in 2010, who wrote about the phenomenon online. Other popular examples of the Mandela effect include misremembered movie quotes, book titles, and historical events. There is no consensus on what causes the Mandela effect, with theories ranging from parallel universes to social influence. Examine the tragic collapse of the Morandi Bridge in Genoa, Italy, which killed 43 people in 2018, and investigate the causes behind this heart-wrenching disaster. The Morandi Bridge, a highway bridge in Genoa, Italy, collapsed on the 14th of August 2018 at 11:36 a.m. local time. 43 people died and 16 were injured in the devastating collapse, sparking widespread outrage and grief. The 1967-built bridge, also known as Ponte Morandi, was a 1.1 kilometers long reinforced concrete structure. Investigations revealed a combination of design flaws, corrosion, and inadequate maintenance contributed to the disaster. The bridge's collapse led to the resignation of Italy's infrastructure minister, Danilo Toninelli, and multiple lawsuits. Uncover the hidden Easter eggs and references to classic 80 Seconds movies, books, and games that are scattered throughout Stranger Things, including nods to Stephen King and Steven Spielberg. The Duffer Brothers, creators of Stranger Things, are huge fans of 80 Seconds pop culture and classic sci-fi. The show's fictional town, Hawkins, is named after Hawkins National Laboratory in Stephen King's works. Eleven's powers are inspired by the movie E.T., the Extraterrestrial, a favorite of Steven Spielberg's. The iconic Demogorgon monster is a nod to Dungeons & Dragons, a game the Duffer Brothers loved as kids. The character of Joyce Byers was inspired by Ellen Ripley from the Alien franchise, a sci-fi icon. Explore the origins of modern banking in ancient Mesopotamia, where temple priests controlled the flow of gold and silver, and discover how this led to the first recorded financial crisis in 2400 BCE. In ancient Mesopotamia, temple priests controlled the flow of gold and silver around 3000 BCE. These priests developed a system of clay tokens to represent goods and services, creating a primitive banking system. By 2500 BCE, the use of silver shekels as a standardized currency replaced the token system. The first recorded financial crisis occurred in 2400 BCE, caused by a drought that led to a grain shortage and debt crisis. The crisis led to the creation of the first debt forgiveness decree, known as the Clean Slate Edict. Explore how triage was used during World War I, specifically by doctors like Jonathan Letterman, who developed a system to prioritize wounded soldiers. During World War I, medical teams faced overwhelming numbers of wounded soldiers, sparking the need for triage. Dr. Jonathan Letterman developed the first formal triage system, prioritizing patients based on severity of injury. Letterman's system categorized patients into 3 groups: immediate attention, delayed attention, and hopeless cases. This pioneering approach reduced mortality rates by 50% and became a model for modern triage systems. Triage was crucial in World War I, as medical supplies were scarce and transportation was limited. The lessons learned from Letterman's triage system continue to influence emergency medical response. Explore the complex emotional associations of brown, from feelings of comfort and reliability to boredom and lack of excitement, and why it's more than just an earthy color. Brown is the least favorite color among 45% of people in a YouGov survey, yet it's also a comfort color. Brown is associated with feelings of reliability, stability, and warmth, evoking a sense of coziness and comfort. The color brown is closely tied to nature, with 70% of people linking it to earth, soil, and wood. In branding, brown is often used to convey a sense of ruggedness, authenticity, and approachability. Think UPS and Hershey's. However, brown can also evoke feelings of boredom, dullness, and lack of excitement, especially in design and art. We're counting down the most impressive military vehicle records, including the longest-range artillery shot and the highest altitude reached by a tank, with a focus on the amazing achievements. The longest-range artillery shot was achieved by the German Dora gun in 1942, reaching 43 miles. The highest altitude reached by a tank is 21,033 feet, set by a Pakistani Type 69 tank in 1987. The fastest military vehicle is the thrust SSC jet-powered car, reaching 763.03 miles per hour in 1997. The largest military vehicle is the Russian Antonov An-225 Mia cargo plane, with a wingspan of 290 feet. The longest-serving military vehicle is the US M-35 truck, in operation from 1950 to 2015. The deepest dive by a submarine is 35,000. In 1963, the SS Marine Sulphur Queen, an American tanker, disappeared while traveling through the Gulf of Mexico, killing all 39 crew members on board. The SS Marine Sulphur Queen was a 5'7" tanker built in 1,944 inches, Pennsylvania. On the 2nd of February 1963, the ship set sail from Beaumont, Texas, carrying 15,000 tons of molten sulfur. The tanker was last spotted on radar at 10:30 p.m., about 100 miles south of New Orleans. Despite extensive searches, no wreckage or debris from the ship was ever found. Theories about the ship's disappearance include a catastrophic explosion, fire, or even a pirate attack. The incident remains one of the greatest maritime mysteries in American history, with all 39 crew members lost at sea.